In Outer Wilds, time is fleeting. You have exactly 22 minutes to unlock the mystery of a lifetime. A couple of months ago, I started my first playthrough of Outer Wilds, and if you're not familiar, Outer Wilds is a very beloved game from 2019 where you explore space to uncover a mystery as to why you are in a perpetual time loop. 22 minutes exactly, and then we start all over again. And I guess it would be good to find out, how do we get out of this time loop? I mean, I like a good campfire as much as the next girl, especially if there's marshmallows, but there's gotta be more to this life, right? Well, so many people have been singing this game's praises, saying how it's one of the best games that you'll ever play, how it changed them fundamentally, that it's one of the best stories you'll ever hear in a game. People just love this game, critics and players alike. So maybe I'm the outlier here, but after playing this game for a little over 15 hours, I decided that I just didn't like it enough to keep playing, and I dropped it. So why would I drop it? It has so many amazing qualities. I mean, it's a beautiful open world that is just begging to be explored. The sense of vastness in this world is just remarkable, and it makes you feel like this is probably the closest that you'll ever feel what it's like to explore in space on your own, unless you're like the one astronaut watching this video. If so, hi. The physics feel so accurate and really helps to ground you in this place. There's a true sense of realism. The music is quite lovely, somehow both serene and haunting at the same time. And the lore feels developed and deep. The mystery is quite intriguing. I mean, who are all of these people? What is happening in Outer Wilds? Also, did I mention that there's marshmallow? I really love me a good s'mores. As you can tell, there's a lot to love about this game. If you're watching this and Outer Wilds is your favorite game of all time, I can understand why. I get why it would click with so many people, but I just wasn't one of them. I dropped it, and hard. I haven't picked up this game for months, and yesterday I was thinking to myself, I really just don't have a desire to ever play Outer Wilds again. So I did what everyone said not to do, and what I usually hate to do myself because I hate spoilers. I am a spoilers hater, but I didn't feel anything compelling me back to this world. I didn't want to pick up and continue playing, so I decided. I looked up what happens at the end of Outer Wilds, and honestly, seeing that ending made me even happier that I dropped the game. When I tell you, when I saw the ending and what I would have had to go through to get to that ending, I felt vindicated. I was so happy that I didn't force myself to continue just to get to that ending. Nothing about that ending felt satisfying to me or made me feel any regret for dropping it or for looking it up. I'll try my best to explain this story the best that I can near the end. But I did end up looking up the ending. And this might make some people mad, considering how well it's praised. But let me explain from my perspective. There are a lot of great things to love about this game, things that I myself even enjoy, and I think it deserves all the success that it's getting. But ultimately, I just wasn't having fun. One of the things that I realized that I heavily disliked about Outer Wilds is its gameplay loop. Time is fleeting. You get 22 minutes to explore the entirety of the universe. No more, no less. 22 minutes every single time. You're basically a mayfly at this point. No matter how far you get or how close you are to something, it doesn't matter if that big piece of the mystery is right in front of you just to reach out and grab it. Once you hit that 22-minute mark, KO, game over. You're back to the beginning of the time loop, looking at that campfire amongst that marshmallow once again. And honestly, my stomach is starting to hurt. I can only have so many marshmallows. I wanted to explore this amazing world in front of me. I wanted to learn and examine the rich lore and the history that I had uncovered. I wanted to talk with the few people I would stumble upon in this insane universe and hear their stories firsthand. But I was constantly feeling rushed and stressed out about running out of time. It really left me feeling dissatisfied. I didn't revel in my discoveries. When I would make it to a new area, I would just try to power through as much as I could because I knew how fleeting time was. I knew that if I stopped to really ponder on the information that was given to me, to take a moment to really look around a little more, I would eventually run out of time. And yes, there are logs and ways for you to examine all the information that you collect, even after the time loop restarted. You're able to look back, but I wanted to experience it firsthand. I mean, I had traveled and explored all the way up to that point of discovery, so why couldn't I just enjoy the moment? But I just felt so rushed. That 22 minutes was constantly ticking down. Due to the strict 22-minute time loop, I just was not enjoying the process of discovery or exploration. And I got even more disheartened knowing how difficult it is to fly an actual spaceship. If that one astronaut is still watching, I don't know how you do it. It's really hard to fly this thing. I feel like the learning curve to just figure out how to fly around and explore is so steep that it personally really hindered me. So not only was I up against time and difficult means of travel, but I would encounter so many things that would just straight up kill me while I was exploring. And then suddenly, there I was, back with the marshmallow. And listen, for deaths that are my own fault, I actually don't mind. If I fly into the mouth of a giant anglerfish and get eaten, yeah, that's my bad. But when you pair your own death mishaps with the time loop and the struggles of navigating in the first place, it's really frustrating to want to continue. Not to mention that there were parts that I had encountered in the game that truly felt like they wanted to just waste my time and force me to do the time loop over and over again just to uncover the littlest piece of the mystery. And I just felt deeply dissatisfied with that gameplay loop. For example, one of the last times that I played the game, I was exploring these two planets that are collectively called the Hourglass Twins. The Hourglass Twins are two planets that are orbiting one another. One of the planets is called Ash Twin, and the other is called Ember Twin. I had already explored a lot of Ember Twin in a few prior time loops, and I had started to explore some of the other planet, Ash Twin. Now, the thing about these two planets is that they're called the Hourglass Twins for a reason. There's basically a giant sand vortex or a tornado that is connecting the two planets. Well, it turns out that one of those planets is draining all of its sand to the other, like an hourglass. So as you're exploring, you realize, hey, I guess I should wait for the sand to drain and see if there's anything hidden. And I've watched Avatar: The Last Airbender after all. There's definitely some knowledge, some hidden library, or something of that sort underneath that sand. So I wait, and I watch sand drain. I'm telling you, this is about as exciting as watching water boil after you literally just put it on the stove. I wait for the entire thing to drain, so then, hey, I can finally explore now. My time patiently waiting is about to pay off. But guess what? If you wait the entire time to let the sand drain, that's 22 minutes. That's the end. And you're back to the campfire again. I swear, I'm never wanting to see a marshmallow again. So I make my way back. I make my way all the way back to Ash Twin, and I start to watch again. But the water hasn't even started simmering yet, and I decide that I need to start exploring a little more, or else I'm going to run out of time. I just feel so rushed to explore that I can't even enjoy the process. I just don't want to have to be forced to do it all over again, when all I wanted to do was explore and learn more about this world that I found so interesting. But again, the gameplay loop just kind of ruined it for me. And to be transparent, even some of the discoveries that I would uncover sometimes didn't even feel satisfying. They'd be dropping names, saying things that made no sense to me. And I get it, it's a puzzle, we're meant to unpack it, but it's just not fun to me to be so rushed to gather puzzle pieces, and then the puzzle pieces hardly feel satisfying either once you are to get them. Like, what's this shape? What is that? I don't know, I've never even seen this before in my life. But then we're back at the marshmallow. If I die because I crash into something, I get eaten, I run out of oxygen, sure, doesn't feel great to restart from the beginning, but that's my own doing. I will take responsibility. But the 22-minute time cap each time just severely demotivated me, especially when it feels like each loop, every 22 minutes, you gather so little information at times, sometimes gathering no information at all. Or the game would ask you to do things that felt very unintuitive to me. There were certain tools that I just didn't realize when I needed to use them and why, and I would like to spend the time to figure that out. I wanted to uncover the puzzle after all, but again, I felt so rushed all the time. It sometimes felt like experimentation was actually discouraged, because if you spend all this time getting to this hard to reach location and then you decide to experiment using one tool instead of another, just to be sent all the way back again and realize that you just wasted your time, just turned me into the marshmallow at this point. So yeah, I dropped it. I just didn't have fun overall, despite all of the amazing positives about this game. I completely respect if you enjoyed this game and why, but I just can't overlook the fact that I just didn't enjoy the process of playing. And the ending. Just to get to the ending. When I saw what it is that you had to do to get to the ending, I don't know how long it would have taken me to figure out all of that out, given after what I've just explained. I would have been willing to put in the time and effort if I was having fun, but I wasn't. And if you were, great. But I'm just speaking from my own experience. So what was the point of all of this? What is the story of Outer Wilds? It's honestly confusing and quite long, but here's a really condensed summary that's going to leave out a lot. You play as a space explorer, and this goat statue in your home planet's museum turns, looks you in the eyes, and a weird purple glow happens. And then the time loop begins. Hello to our first marshmallow. So we set out to explore to uncover the mystery of whatever the goat statue did to us, and why we're now in a time loop. I guess all things considered, it feels quite lucky to be an astronaut already and have access to a spaceship, since we're clearly going to need it. So it turns out, after you do a bunch of exploring and puzzle solving, I'm really jumping to the end here, there's this very secret place in the universe called the Eye of the Universe, and you need to take a specific power source from somewhere else in the universe and then take it to the Eye of the Universe, all within 22 minutes. And hey, you've ended the time loop. You know why? Because you actually just started the Big Bang, and you and everyone else that you know has died. In the end, you made sure that the universe will continue. It just wasn't worth it to me to go through this kind of convoluted process just to get to the end. I mean, I was watching people explain their thought process of getting to the end, and we're throwing out quantum physics, black hole, white hole, just things that are not in my realm of knowledge, and again, things that I would have been open to learning, but I just felt like I was being punished anytime I would play the game. So I didn't really have much incentive at all when the world is difficult enough to travel through. You have limited time to do so before being sent back. You don't know these names or their significance. You don't know what they're even saying sometimes. What is this goat always looking at you with purple eyes? You don't know what's important, what tools to use. And if you don't have some basic understanding of astronomy or astrophysics before going in, it's steep out here. After working so hard and going through 100 times more than I've already described, you're supposed to just accept your fate and ultimate death and jump into this pit where you and the entire universe literally dies with you, and you start the next Big Bang. I wonder if they'll have marshmallows there. But all that work, for me, it just wouldn't have been worth it. Some people say that the experience is bittersweet because they loved the journey so much, and they hate to see the world go, but they know that their sacrifice is the beginning of new life. But some Outer Wilds fans might not agree with me, and that's okay. Let me know what it is that you think in the comments down below. What were your experiences like with Outer Wilds? If you have any other game recommendations for me or things that you'd like to see me cover in the future, let me know. Consider supporting the channel by becoming a member or donating to my Ko-Fi. It would really mean a lot. I've been going through a pretty hard time recently, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one, friends. Bye!